Welcome to Two Keys in a Pod. I'm Shantiana Keys.
And I'm Andriana Keys.
And it has already been a mad March. We are in the round of 32 right now today. And we just watched Iowa. So we got a lot to talk about in terms of March Madness in general. So this episode is mostly going to be about basketball. So if you don't care about basketball, then this is probably not the episode for you. But there's a lot that's been happening. But first, how have you been? How is basketball and all those things in Romania?
I've been good. We have 2 games left in the regular season, and then we start the playoffs, I think March 27th or 28th. So the end is near. We'll finish third. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, not much happening here. Just watching a lot of basketball. You're on a 6-hour time difference, so I know I get texts from you randomly while you're watching.
Oh yeah, I forgot that I'm over here acting like nothing's happening. My coach got fired last week. So I just got a whole new coach. And we have a month left of the season. So that's pretty crazy. But anyway, that was like a side note.
Not ideal, but I had to throw that in. Speaking of overseas, though, I know that Brittany Griner, that situation that's been unfolded, we talked about it in the last episode. And it's been more than a month that she's been detained. And they finally released that her Russian lawyers basically she went to court and they extended her detention all the way until May 19th, which is wild to think about.
Yeah, good luck to her. That's probably not the best place to be at the moment, of course. You know, prayers to her. Hopefully everything's okay. Obviously, we don't know what is happening in her day-to-day being there.
That was like the first
treated.
Right. No, that was the first that I had seen anything of her, like video of her, pictures of her while she's been over there. So it was good to at least see her. She looked okay. Like, like she didn't look maybe like disheveled or anything. So that's the good sign. But from all the things that I've read, it seems like it's going to be a long road for her, which is wild. People are like, will she be back before the season? I'm like, do you think she would be coming back to play? Like, I just don't imagine that is going to be on her mind when she gets back.
I didn't see any videos or anything of her, so I haven't seen none of that. But I feel like she would be, I can't say the type because I don't know her, but I feel like she would go back and play.
Listen,
what's she going to do? Take some time to herself?
What'd you say? Take some what?
Time to herself.
Yeah, maybe get some therapy. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just feel like being detained in a situation that you didn't anticipate being in, and we don't know the circumstances or the conditions in which she's been there, it's like you can't just assume she's going to be ready to come ball out when she get back. Like, that's just seems like pretty unrealistic expectation in my opinion. And yeah, I just don't imagine that'll be top of mind for her. But like you said, we're just very glad that she is all good. P.S. I know you're not in the States, and I don't know how inflation is working over there in Romania, but I just want you to know that American Deli is taxing on these wing combos. Okay? I just had that before this podcast, and listen, American Deli, count your days, because I just don't.
What is it? $14?
$14. $14. And I got a 50-cent upcharge for the honey and my honey mild sauce, but it really, it's not working for me.
You have an air fryer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been making air fryer wings. I get me the little chicken wingettes, season them, put them in there, take them out, and I put honey and hot sauce on them, and I'm at American Deli, and I made fries with it too. I'm sad. I'm missing is the drink.
Okay, I hear you. And I went through a phase, it was probably last summer, A lot of wingettes in the air fryer, okay? Making my own honey mild sauce. Got my lemon pepper sprinkles in the cupboard. But the inflation of the chicken wings is up, okay? So those at Kroger are taxing as well. But I mean, to your point, it will save me some money. So maybe I'll get back to it. But yeah, for a pack, it was like over $20. I'm like, oh no, 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 no.
Yeah, that's
Not gonna be able to
crazy.
do
And
that.
the fries can't be nothing but no, it's got to be less than $5 for a bag of fries. So
True. Okay, fine, fine. Look, I have not even like had wings in a long time. So I just like thought about them. I was like at a treat yourself kind of day. I was feeling a little stressed on my way back from Sam's Club, and I was like, you know what, American Deli, it's your lucky day. Okay, moving on because people don't care about our wings. The basketball. Okay, so Iowa, 2 seed. We were looking forward. They were in the same region as the number 1 seed South Carolina, which meant, we'd have a matchup between Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, 2 players that have been in contention for Player of the Year. And it's been a big talk. We've talked about it on the podcast. And it was a matchup we were looking forward to. RIP to every bracket out there. But what were your thoughts about the game? I know you and your teammates were watching.
I want to say, well, first I want to say this. I didn't want to see South Carolina and Iowa because I didn't think it was going to be like a game. I wanted to see it for viewership, because I know, okay, it's going to bring a lot of people to that game.
Wait, it wasn't going to be a game because why?
Who was Iowa going to defend? Like,
okay.
But it, it could have been entertaining, I guess. But anyways, no, we were watching. So I only got to see the second half because I was at practice. And we in the car, like, okay, it's a 5 or 6 point game at halftime or something like that. And so then we got back. We're like, okay. And me, without even thinking, I told my teammate, I'm like, oh, it's on, it's halftime. It don't matter. Like they got a whole, another 20 minutes to play basketball. I run in her room with 20 seconds left, like, girl. And she's like, I thought you said it was only halftime. Yeah, that was wild. It's like one of those where you just stunned. If you're Iowa, Creighton, I mean, they running, jumping on each other, so happy because it's like, what did we just do? But what I did like was that the player of the game was an Iowa transfer.
Right.
And I remember her. And so it's like, dang, they did that. Well, offensive rebound.
Okay, so first off, Creighton has so many like botched possessions. Like I thought, they smoked some layups that they should have made down the stretch. Mm-hmm. They had the lead most of the time. And I think a lot of the 50-50 balls they were getting to. So it just seemed like they were everywhere. But I do think, well, I got a couple questions. Okay. So one, does Caitlin Clark deserve that last shot? I saw it on Twitter. I have my own thoughts about it, which of course I will share. And 2, was that a foul on Caitlin Clark driving to the basket? So I guess that's the first question. Was that a foul? Should they have called it?
No, because she had been wanting that for 4 possessions in a row.
Okay, that's what's crazy about it. I didn't understand. It seemed like she didn't adjust to the reffing at all.
Mm-mm.
Like, they just kept looking for a foul, and they have been consistently calling the same things all game. So it didn't make, I agree.
Yeah.
They were pressing, yeah.
And, they showed a slow-mo of that. So the girl's hands was up. Now, they be getting post players like that a lot. But that wasn't even enough for even that, like what they usually call.
I don't think she was straight up. I don't
she think wasn't like, no. But if there was a little lean in there, but no. I'm sorry, no.
Yeah. No. I think, if they had called it, I would have been like, okay, because she did break the plane. She was not straight up. But Caitlin Clark, being 6 feet, sis, you got to go up stronger than that. And I think that's what Creighton did a good job of being physical with everybody. Like, even Sonano in the lane, like you could see that they were providing a lot of resistance when she was going to trying to bury them or make a move.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I like their size. Obviously, your ability to shoot in this tournament has been huge,
Yeah.
which is why I'm a little worried about South Carolina. That's who's on in the background right now.
Yeah. And Iowa didn't shoot the three ball well at all.
Right. Um, how many? Also, I was looking up was how many Caitlyn had. Because like you said, I watched some of the first half, maybe like the first 5 minutes,
She had
but
15
yeah, that.
and she was 4 for 19, I think, or something like that.
Oh yeah, that ain't gonna do it. That ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Three for 10 from the 3 point line. Um, and I just knew she was due for a three. Like,
Right.
like once it kept on coming, it's like, okay, you see her do this move, this,
Dribble to
crossover
the
step
left.
back,
Yep.
and you knew it was coming and just never came. Like,
Yeah.
but to your point of did she deserve that last shot? Well, you got one post player with 30 points. You got your, best overall player, one of the top players in the nation. Um, and she had possession before that layup that we talked about. So yes, you could give it to her again. And I just knew, I thought like, oh, they probably gonna get her for a three or something. They ain't even need a three. But going to Monica right there down low, 1-on-1, I mean, that's not a bad decision either. Give it to your other money players. So
Right. And the person who asked it was Renee Montgomery, owner of the Atlanta Dream, former UConn basketball player, former Atlanta Dream basketball player. She asked the question. And yeah, my answer is okay, Caitlyn had her opportunity to put the game on her back. So we gave her that. Sonano is she's a walking bucket, especially in that scenario she was just in. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Like, that's a great play call, right? They thought, of course, everybody's following Caitlyn out. She had her buried in the lane. She was, what, 15 for 15 at some point in this game? Not in the game, but like carried over from the last game, okay? Until she started missing late down the stretch. Yeah, I think you have to go with that. Like, and not to mention, she's a senior. Like, okay, you gave your superstar the opportunity. It just didn't happen. She didn't get the play call, and she griped about it, which, frankly, their whole team, or at least Lisa and Caitlyn, they're doing a lot of yelling. Anyways, yeah, I just think you don't get a better shot than that. I don't think you do.
It was just
And
short. She had a look shot. It was right there. It was short,
right,
and
probably
then
just
somebody else
tightened
got
up.
whatever.
Right, which seemed like they had a little more time to come down, but of course in that situation you're not seeing the clock, so you're like, I just got to get this off.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that's tough. It's a tough way to go out. But like you said, very poetic that a transfer, of course, like is gonna come in and put you out. That's just always how it's got to go.
I was like, come on. Because I had Iowa advancing and I actually had them beating Iowa State in my bracket that's still hot. I did 25
Out of
brackets.
25.
Yeah. So 2 out of 25 are still pretty good right now, but I did have Iowa meeting South Carolina. But of course I'm rooting for the Big Ten teams too. So I'm like, come on, y'all.
Right. So you got Indiana coming up, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Michigan, Maryland right now.
yeah. All the games today are going to be good. What would you say is the game that you're most looking forward to?
Who's even playing today?
I know. That's
Who's
what
playing today?
Don't worry. I'm looking it up now. Okay, Maryland versus Gulf Coast. Utah, Texas. Miami, South Carolina is happening right now, which is a slow game right now. I don't, maybe not slow because those two teams are up and down, but it was 7-10 after the first quarter. I was like, okay, well, this is not shaping up to be a barn burner, but South Carolina, like, yeah, they're sitting on Boston, of course. And so when you can't hit outside shots right now, it's not ideal. Okay, South Dakota, Baylor. I think that's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Gonzaga, Louisville. Not sure about that one. The athleticism might just be a bit much for Gonzaga. Georgia, Iowa State.
Yes, that's my number one, I think, today.
Okay. And then the last one is Kansas, Stanford. So,
Yeah, no. That Georgia, Iowa State, obviously, because we love Georgia and we want Joni to
Georgia.
win.
Shout out to
Um,
Joni.
yes, and just some of the players on there that I know from when they was younger playing AAU basketball. So rooting for them to be a good Iowa State team. That's gonna be a good one. And I don't know if they played each other already this year, but it should be a good game.
Yeah. So that one's later tonight. P.S. It is Sunday. Did I say that? It's Sunday while we're recording. Um, I think the Baylor South Dakota game could get interesting too. So I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to that
I
one.
think that'll be a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. So a long day of basketball.
Let South Dakota win that game. My teammate was like, "You did all this talking yesterday about how it's not really any kind of she like parity in the women's
Is that what you
NCAA
said?
tournament and blah blah blah." I wasn't doing that. I was just saying like it is very like you don't see it as much in the men like you do on the men's. A 15 beating a 2 is what I was saying. That's
Right.
usually you do not. This
Right.
time I'm done talking.
Yeah.
Anybody could be anybody.
We have
And
arrived. We have arrived. And I think it's a big part of it is, players getting to play a little longer with this extra year. So you got some veteran teams, okay? Got some
yeah,
24-year-olds on the roster.
I saw a tweet yesterday that was saying, she was like, I can't even keep up anymore. All of y'all is on y'all 7th year. Like,
But yeah, so that, and then everybody's got a shooting team at this point. You know what I mean? So these mid majors are showing up, and I hope that doesn't hurt the rest of the tournament. You know what I mean? But because I think you mentioned in our last episode about what upsets. Like, but do you want the later rounds to be as good? So, anyways, I'm hoping that is the case. That these Cinderella teams don't run out of steam. But it'll be interesting to see who's left in the Sweet 16 after tomorrow. Tomorrow and Tuesday.
yeah,
Because are the big teams gonna show up? Well, obviously, Iowa State's the first big team to fall, right? Or a 1-2 seed.
Iowa, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, you know, that's a big one. That's a big one, and that opens it up. Who else is in that region?
But 2 seed, maybe they should have been like a 3 or 4.
Okay.
Like they okay, sure, they deserved it, but it's just like I don't know. I think it's because I watched them so much and I, watched that league and everything like that. So
Right.
you
Well,
just
and
gotta
that's it.
know which ones are beatable, which is
Right.
like, okay, which teams are beatable?
They are in the region. So they were the 2 seed. South Carolina's the 1 seed. They're in the same region as Arizona. But they
In
wouldn't play
North
them.
Carolina, Iowa State, Georgia.
Do you have this memorized? What the heck?
You know how many times I looked at that thing?
25 brackets worth? Dang. So I don't know who's coming out of there. That could be what? Iowa State or Georgia?
Mm-hmm.
Dang, that's tough. Okay, South Carolina, you better take care of business today. And I think
Good. In some of my brackets, I got Georgia to the Elite Eight. So,
no, that's definitely possible.
yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. But that being said, South Carolina looks like their path kind of opened up a bit.
Um, because of the Iowa loss.
Yeah. Who else? Who left? Do you think takes them out? Because the only options are UNC, Arizona, and then obviously whoever comes out of the other side, out of UGA, Iowa State, and Creighton. So who do you think could take them out?
there wasn't anybody that was going to take them out, and I don't think Iowa was going. Like I told you, I don't think Iowa was going to beat them.
Oh, so you were
So
saying it like, oh, Iowa wasn't
the
even going to
path
take
is,
him out.
yeah, the path was is still remaining.
The
Like it's still the
same.
same.
Still the same.
Yeah.
Okay, fair, fair. Another surprising upset was Belmont over Oregon. I thought Oregon didn't execute down the well at all, frankly, but especially down down the stretch, and they had every opportunity to win that game, and they just didn't.
Yeah.
Um,
I will say I like the two black players
from Belmont.
on Belmont. I like them. I think it's Wells and Tootie
Yeah,
or something like that. Yeah.
it's Tootie
They're
Jones.
nice. They
Wait,
play
Wells
offense and defense, Mm-hmm. See, they lead a score.
wasn't somebody named Conley? Am I tripping?
Yeah, but that wasn't her. She was making some big threes, yes, and some big plays. But no,
Okay.
Wells, number 11, short black girl.
Okay. First of all the black girls I saw were short. Um, I remember a Tootie Jones and a Conley, I think.
There were two black players on Belmont. So and they both were on the floor.
Okay. Okay. Okay, fine. Hold on. Now I gotta look up the roster because now I'm confused. Yep, Tootie Jones, sophomore, 5'7". That's who I remember. Okay, okay. Destiny Wells. Yes. Okay, I remember her. So Conley's just a name I made up.
No, she is on the team. She's
She's
just not
black?
black. No.
Okay. Forget it. Forget. Okay, got it. Got it. Why was I thinking of that name then? Big question mark. Okay, so shout out to Tootie and Wells. Tootie Jones and Wells. Anyway, okay. I'm trying to think what other big upsets. Ole Miss, South Dakota. I mean, the game wasn't even that great. Georgia Tech going out, that was like, ugh. Um,
Going out sad.
Very sad. Texas looks good. Notre Dame pulled it out. And that Oklahoma IUPUI, I know you like to watch them, was closer down the stretch. And yeah, that's a tough one to go home with for sure. And then Kentucky Princeton. I liked how they played. They look like a lot of those other mid majors we keep talking about. Long, play hard, can shoot the ball, which seems to be the recipe for being in games, which is good. I guess good until you run into, well, an athletic team that can execute and shoot as well. So there's that. Yeah, I think there's a bunch of good games coming up in the next 2 days.
Kentucky is just so off and on. Like you just don't know what you're gonna get,
Right.
Yes, that just wasn't wasn't good.
I want Ryan Howard to have a motor all the time. And I just don't see that when she plays. I'm not doubting she plays hard or anything like that, but it just seems like she needs to be at a 10 all the time and she's just not. So that being said, we've got some big games to look forward to. Our brackets are dead and busted. I might have one bracket that looks reasonable at this point, but I am very curious about that BPI bracket and how that one's doing because I let it automatically pick one of mine, and then there were some matchups I was like, no way. So now I'm very curious if those were the upsets that were in there. All right, any lasting words before we go and check out the ends of these other games, South Carolina game and Maryland particularly right now?
On the men's side, I have watched a couple games, not many. Obviously rooting for Purdue. I do not have them winning it all though, but I would love it if they did. Baylor went down, so that's very helpful. But then also my last thing is just my guy LeBron is number 2 all time leading scorer in the NBA, going for the number 1 spot. So yes, congrats to him.
Shout out to you, LeBron.
Yes, I know you're listening.
A faithful listener of this here podcast. We love that. All right, so we'll see you in 2 weeks, and by the end of 2 weeks, we'll be at the Final Four or watching the Final Four. So that will be the wrap up of our college basketball season. Who knows? Andriana may want to talk about the NBA. But yeah, not
Ooh,
really.
ain't not much to talk about right now.
Oh goodness! Yikes!
I'm losing, Hawks losing. Not much to talk about.
Okay. Well, we'll see y'all in 2 weeks. This has been Two Keys in the Pod.